And so I feel like there's a place where a woman forgets who she was or who she is. And then now you become a mother, a wife, a what. And then now when you ask someone who is Grace, I don't have anything to tell you outside of all my functions. So me, I'm seated eating cookies as I tell people stories as they read. I remember when I was getting to Form 4, pre-mocks niliandika jina kwa karatasi, index number nikalala. I'm not going to watch this happen. So I think for me now, it broke me even more to see that the mom did not recognize that the child was doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And was okay with it being new toto. And now that I'm a parent, I usually tell God, I pray that my kids are not the ones bullying others and I don't see it.
You don't see it.
That I catch it early. Sasa mimi nimeingia Strath, sijui nisome nini. Hata sijui. I don't even, you've come from high school, you're like, okay, what do I study? So I had a cousin in that school who was studying like one of the hardest, I don't know, it's called integrated something. So I ask her, which is the easiest course? She tells me, BCom. Hey, me, I'm not a math person, I'm not a guy. So me, I told my dad, okay, I'll do BCom. Hey, semester 1, semester. By the time I was semester 3, I told my dad, me nimemaliza first year, nimesoma. Ukilipa school fees ya second year, niwe unaenda shule. Sirudi huko. I'm not going back. I can't.
Hello, good people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from where you're catching this conversation from. Welcome to Sukibe YouTube Conversations, the home of authentic conversations, where we embrace authenticity, one conversation at a time. And I want to thank you for your support this far. Thank you for your feedback, even from the previous episode. And today we have another exciting, amazing episode. In this season, we are bringing stories that have built resilience through journeys taken, victories won, and from that resilience and purpose has been accomplished. So I have an amazing guest in studio this day, an amazing woman of God, a beautiful, anointed, hilarious I've learned today, woman of God, that I want to allow her to introduce herself so that we can get to this conversation. And as usual, if this is the first time, please do not forget to subscribe, because you are missing a lot. If you have not subscribed, you're missing a lot. Did I say my name? Susan Kibiatsulu is my name. You're emotional wellness coach, author, podcast host, and I'm married, a mom of a clan, a blending mom, and happy at it. And I thank God for this opportunity. Karibu sana.
Oh, thank you so much. That part for hilarious has caught me off guard. I'm like, yeah, I'm hilarious. I can be very funny. I think many people think I'm very stuck up.
Serious,
Like, they find me very serious. But when I relax, I can be very funny. So my name is Guy. I always struggle with introductions. I don't know why. I find it very hard. And so much more now that I'm a woman of God. But my name is Grace Shunet. So Shunet being my husband. So I'm married to one husband, one amazing husband. I'm a mother to 3 children, 3 beautiful children. And a mother to many, because my husband and I run a church called Rain City Chapel. I am also the founder of Rebirth Global Network, a women's ministry that is technically a movement. My team calls it a movement, and so blessed to be doing that. I'm also a kingdom influencer and a daughter of the Most High God. That is me, I think, in a nutshell. Yeah. And thank you for having me. I can't wait for this conversation. Thank you so much for having me.
It's so good to have you on this platform. Thank you for honoring our invite. And I think when I first connected with you through just a very brief chat.
Yes.
And I realized, you know what? I would want to hear more.
Wow.
Yeah. So now when you're saying the Rebirth
Global Network.
Rebirth Global Network, it's actually a movement.
Yeah.
Yes,
wow.
it is a movement.
Amen.
And what she did not say, I don't just call her Grace Shunet. She's Prophetess Grace Shunet. So we are not belittling the woman of God. We also give honor where honor is due.
Thank you.
So karibu sana.
Asante.
Yeah, so who is Prophetess Grace Shunet?
Wow, who is?
Yes.
Who is?
Yeah.
Prophetess Grace Shunet is a girl who just wants to be a girl. However, The Lord decided otherwise. The Lord decided that
Yes.
you shall be a prophet. They shall call you prophet.
Prophet.
Which was hard. However, I think I'm just a little girl who grew up. I feel like I'm still a girl. You know, sometimes,
You are.
let me just say, sometimes I'm having conversation with my kids and I tell them, I'm just a baby. They're like, no, mom, but you're married. I'm like, no, I'm just a baby. Because sometimes I just want to be a child, And I think everyone has that moment where you're like, I wish I could just be a girl without all these expectations of my life. Because life right now where we are at, if we're being honest, has so many expectations, so many people pulling on every side, and sometimes we forget the little girl on the inside. But I'm a girl who loves the Lord. I love the Lord very much. I love people. I'm coming to learn that I love people. If you asked me this question 3 years ago, I'd have told you, mi na watu wacha wakae kure, mi nikae hapa. The Lord is teaching me how to love people and to love people genuinely. I also love women a lot, and I know sometimes it sounds cliche when a woman minister is saying her ministry is for women, but for me, I love women because I have seen how when a woman is broken, she does not get to full potential. And if we can heal the woman from the point where she's a little girl, so that the brokenness does not get to her the way it got to some of us. I feel like if there are certain conversations we were given when we were younger, life would be so much easier now. However, it was part of our process so that we can now help the younger ones. And so I feel like there's a place where a woman forgets who she was or who she is. And then now you become a mother, a wife, a what. And then now when you ask someone who is Grace, I don't have anything to tell you outside of all my functions. My functions as a wife, as a minister, as all these other things. Because life has pulled so much at me that at the core of Grace, I don't know who Grace is. Grace loves fashion. I am a fashionista at heart. I love to look good. I love seeing people look good. I love design. I studied interior design in campus. Imagine, I have a bachelor's degree in interior design. I love beautiful spaces. So at the heart of me is a creative. And I guess that is who Grace is up until this point.
And how has your journey been growing up? There's something you said, and I remember, first of all, when you mentioned about just being a girl, I remembered I think like 2 weeks ago, I was having an interview on Elevate TV. So my teenage son was watching. So the following day, he sends me a message. Oh, hi, Mom. It was so amazing to see you shining on TV for Jesus. I'm so proud of you, girl. He actually called me girl.
Clock it.
So it is coming. It is, even with teenagers, it is coming. Oh, yes, it is. It is. Because now with these Gen Zs. That. Yeah. And you said something about healing. A healed woman. Yes. Because that is what we do here. We major on helping women. Yes. Men as well. Nowadays you're also finding men. But today let's talk about the woman. A healed woman. Yes. Finding herself, reconstructing her identity. Yes. To be whole. Yes. Because like in the space I'm in currently with the blended families. Yes. I run a community where I remember I was telling somebody last week, by the way, in a blended family, if you have not healed, just don't. Yeah. Traditional family is work. Blended is complex, dynamic. Yeah. So you really have to be healed before you step into this journey. And it happens even in ministry. It does. Yeah. In our corporate spaces, a healed woman gives wholeness. Yes. If you're not healed, you'll be the one who is ranting in every space, and you cannot be whole in any element. You can't. However much you are given, even into assignment. Yes. So how has your journey been growing up to where you are at, even for you to come up with what you have just said? Because there must be something you have seen. Yes. Oh, I have. Journeys you've been through. Yes, yes. Yes, so please tell us.
So we start from a very young age. So I grew up pretty well. I usually give credit where credit is due. My parents worked very hard and gave us an amazing life. So I'm a firstborn of 3 siblings. I have a sister who follows me and a brother. So just the 3 of us. I grew up pretty well. Fortunately or unfortunately, I had no idea. You know how you grow up in, for lack of a better word, wealth, and you don't know. because my parents had a way of making us just live life as kids. And I think later is when I started realizing, oh my God, we were actually so privileged and we lived well. So I grew up very well, loved at home. Me and my sister have had the most amazing relationship up until this point. We are like best of friends. Like we didn't even fight. Even I used to ask my mom, how was I? I was like, she's like, you guys have always been nice. I'm like, really? I don't have skeletons in the closets. But we grew up pretty well. Primary school was great. I was one of the best primary schools. I grew up in Nyeri. I was in one of the best primary schools. So the beginning of my downfall and my breaking as a person happened when I moved schools. So I remember around standard 5, I moved schools to a different school around standard 5 in second term. So I moved to this school. I remember I was very upset at my dad, not because I was moving school. I didn't even know what the other school was. I think at that point you don't have the concept of this is a better school than this one, or it's not a concept in your head. But for me, my argument was, Dad, you promised me I was going to start violin, because we used to do music classes. I used to do piano, and I was excited. Next time I'm starting violin classes. So me, I was telling my dad, how do you move me schools? And I'm going to start my violin classes. Do they have music in that school? Hey, wacha tufike that school. Oh my God. So I get there, and my first culture shock is it's break time. The bell rings and everyone runs out. So I'm asking people, where are people going? And then they're like, for break. And I'm like, what do you mean you're going for break? Isn't break brought to your class? Because in my previous school, break used to be brought to class.
Yes.
So culture shock number 1, we have to race, and then you have to line up. Ndo pate fatso. Fatso was the because it's bigger plus that. So now before I understood those dynamics, I was like always just Then one girl asked me, "What school did you come from?" And I say, I came from Mount Kenya. And she's like, and so people burst out laughing, and I'm like, why are we laughing? They're like, who calls Kenya Kenya? And I'm like, yeah. Where is mambo ni mingi. So I'm there, a confused little girl, because I think class 5 you're about what? 10, 11. So I'm like, what did I do wrong? Like, because most of my what is it called, the standard 1, standard 2, standard 3, I had American teachers, and so my English is not everybody else's English. So there are words I'm pronouncing a different way from them that they find very like, who do you think you are? Like, that's not how we say things. And so the beginning of my bullying began. And so I was bullied all through end of class 5, class 6, class 7, class 8. And I remember at some point I started failing, I started losing weight, and now I've joined boarding school, because I joined boarding school in class 7. So now I'm being bullied and I don't have home to go to. So I have to go back to my cube to cry. And I remember at some point my mom asked me, what's going on? What is happening? Because girl, something is off. You're failing. You look like skinnier. So I'm like, Mom, I think. So I didn't even know how to tell her. So the bullying started from actually a friend. Someone who was a close family friend, someone we had grown up with, someone who we loved each other. As far as I'm concerned, as a young age, this is my girl. Hey, Kumba, she's the one there telling stories, telling everybody drama. Yeah. So it became a whole, people made fun of how I walk, people made fun of how I talk, people made fun of everything. And so I began to break. I began to get into a shell, because I remember I was a very talkative girl. My dad, I usually tell people my dad is the OG content creator. I don't know, me, I tell people, me, I'm a content creator from the blood, because my dad was the OG. I remember there's a video, you know those tips? So during our birthdays, he'd get someone with a camcorder. You know those times, these cameras go up a fancy. Those days the camera was like this. So there was a guy who used to be his videographer. Anakuja kurecord birthday.
Oh, wow.
Hey. Now let me tell you why I usually say my dad is the OG content creator. Siku imeisha, tumekata keki. However, there's a scene he wants in this video. So the next day we were supposed to go swimming. Nalikuwa nataka ikuwe compiled kwa hii birthday. The next day tulivalishwa zile nguo tulikuwa tumevaa. Hii siku ndio ikae continuation. Tell me we are the content creator. OG. The OG. Yeah. So I was very confident. Even in those videos, you'd find me being asked, what do you want to be? I want to be a musician, and I'd sing. By there, I sing and I sing well. So I'm there, very confident. But the confidence of this little girl, slowly by slowly, dipped. And so by the time I'm finishing high school, there's Grace is nowhere. There's a shadow, and then there's Grace somewhere in the bottom. because her voice has been taken away. She no longer has the confidence to say, teacher, can I go to the washroom? Because I don't know that if I stand up, I won't find chalk on my bum, because they used to put chalk on my chair, and we used to wear blue, actually this color of wraparounds. So when I wake up, my bum is yellow. Do I know? People are laughing at me. So now I didn't want to leave class. I didn't want to go for lunch, because now I am like shaking. I'm like, I don't know if I can cope in this environment. Then I go to high school. Hey, now the teachers are the ones bullying the girl. Hey, let me tell you something. I really suffered. Oh, Lord. High school was so bad that the teachers would call me names. And it was so bad that they write on my paper. You know how when they write your mark like you're 17%, then they write a composition of how dumb you are. I had like 3 teachers who were bullying me right, left, and center, and it was so horrible. To some point, I just decided, see, they've called me dumb. Me, I'm not reading. So now when people are reading for exams, me, I'd put my legs up, send my sister, we're in the same high school, my sister, at some point, I went to 3 high schools. I'd send her to the tuck shop. Send her to the tuck shop, tell her, please go buy me cookies. So me, I'm seated eating cookies as I tell people stories as they read. I remember when I was getting to Form 4, mocks. Pre-mocks. Kulikuwa na pre-mocks alafu mocks. Pre-mocks niliandika jina kwa karatasi, index number nikalala. Karatasi. Hakuna exam niliandika. I wrote my name, I slept. When the bell ring, I wake up, I give out my paper. So I had no marks for pre-mocks. And I think at that point is when I realized, anyway, you are broken. Meanwhile, this girl who is failing to the point where I was getting 17% in math, 9%, like I was failing badly. Yeah. That girl got a 403 in KCPE.
Oh.
So you can imagine, I am not dumb.
Yes.
But I have been told how dumb I am until it has become my identity. So I remember I had a wake-up call at the end of Form 3. No, pre-mocks were end of Form 3, ndio tupate index numbers. Ndio, ya kuingia Form 4. Nikaambia babangu, hey, I think there's a problem. It's like I had a light bulb moment. I told my dad, Daddy, these are not my marks. These are not my grades. This is not me. So I told him, if you can find me a private school, niingie private school hivi yenye tutakuwa say 12 class, mi na teacher tuketi chini, nitapass. So my dad is looking at me, he's like, do you understand that you're entering Form 4? Who is going to take you in Form 4? Tukaanza safari. So you remember my previous school, the Mount Kenya, it had a high school. So my dad was like, safe ground because we're there. Let's go. The principal was like, no, we can't take you. So tukazunguka. My dad at some point just told me, Grace, I love you very much. You have seen I have tried. If you find a school that will take you, me, I'll move you. So I started looking for schools myself. And then I finally found a school. And how even I found that school, we had come for this hizi vitu zilikuwa zinapangwa hizi tunapelekanga watoto, I don't know what you call them, holiday camps. And I was talking with some guy and then told me, you know, in my school then he mentioned girls. I was like, hey, you're in a mixed school, which school is that? So he tells me the name. I call the next day, I'm like, hey, so I'm looking for space, can I come? They told me no problem. We went, I did my interview, I passed. Do you know they gave me back I was the only one being interviewed. I asked them, excuse me sir, this is not my paper, handwriting ni yangu, jina ni yangu, but siamini ninapatanga 7. What do you mean nimepata 67? How? Kumbe the environment I was in had finished all the life out of me, that I had become a shell of myself. So I go to this school, I passed, I got a very strong B. And that's where my brokenness came. Now, of course, now when you get to campus, you're becoming older. So you don't show up like the primary school chill girl. So I became the don't talk to me, wrong eyes. How dare, do you know who I am? Don't you? So now I walked into campus like that. Because now I'm building walls for you can't come too close to hurt me. In campus, I even had a name. Nilikuwa naitwa Goldilocks because I used to love blonde hair. But then I'm always in blonde hair. I don't do black hair. Like I am a blonde girl through and through. So they used to call me Goldilocks because of my big puffy blonde hair. I didn't even know. I was being told later. But I was the girl who even had lecturers who you can't enter their class past time. But me, personally, first of all, I'm walking into campus with a handbag. I don't carry backpacks. Heels. Alafu, auditorium ni hivi, nakanga kule juu. Kuna mwalimu alikuwa ananisikia tu, hata haangoji, anasema tu Maina, anasimamisha class, nimalize kukongkong mpaka huko juu niketi chini, aendeleze class. Nilikuwa nimeingisha watu baridi hivo. For don't you dare.
Yeah.
But you see, that is not healing. That is masking the deeper wounds.
Yeah, the deeper ones.
And so that's where I was for a long time. Actually, I don't even know at what point I got to my healing, but I remember I was very big on going to this, to what do you call it? Self-advancement. Like these classes where you go, all the classes. You tell me, go here. I've gone for almost all the programs in this Nairobi because I'm like, if I'll find my healing, let's go. So I have done that until where now I am so self-aware, it's very hard for you to get to me. I'll sit down and be like, those are your insecurities talking. You're projecting. Leave me out of it. Me, I'm okay. And I know that we can't have a fight about you didn't talk to me. I didn't. I'm like, oh, sorry. Imagine. Hizo si fight za saa. Hizo tungefight campus. Ningekufight. Ningeku. But right now, I have done so much inner work.
Yes.
That now I can be able to tell a girl, don't allow the world to break you. And in the same voice, I tell them, don't be the one who breaks someone else. Because if that girl did not start the stories and the whatever, this is not the story that would be. Because you allowed the devil to use you to break someone, and then you take it in. But I understand at a young age, it's so easy. Everything comes to mold you.
Sponge.
Yeah, so you absorb. Yes. You start questioning, how am I supposed to walk? You even start being conscious about, am I supposed to not? Nowadays I'll walk very confidently. Please, you have a problem there. And it's so interesting how God works. Now I look at my daughter and she walks exactly. There I walk, I'm like, let's go, girl. So I have to be like, girl, you have the perfect walk. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So that's been my story. Yeah. That's now the journey to here. Where now I can talk here. Yeah. Me, I would never, if you told me I'd be seated here, even sometimes, if you see me on the pulpit, that's me. I'm usually, that's the Holy Spirit. Because me, personally, I still feel I have an aspect of shyness still and introvertedness. Like, of course, I have moments where I'm like, hey, I don't want to interact, and that's okay. But I cannot not show up. I will show up because I know who I am. I have understood my identity in God. I have understood the mandate that God has for my life, that I cannot allow someone to shut me up. That time passed. Now I will talk, I will shout, I will announce on the rooftop. Yeah, that has been the journey.
Wow. There's something you mentioned, and I would like to take you back there. Yes. When your mom asked you what's going on. What was there a solution offered? How did they take it? Yeah. Because also growing up, it's not any time you say you want to change schools and it's
yes. So, I think at this point it's almost class 8. So I remember I can even see where we were driving, and we're in the car, and we had a driver then. So the driver was driving me, and my mom were in the back, and she asks me, "Mom, what's going on? Something is wrong." And at this point, I was also tired, so I tell her, so and so has been doing this, has been saying this, and it has caused so much havoc in school, to the point where I'd be locked out of class sometimes. They tell me, you're not entering here. Like, and I go, mpaka naenda kwa mwalimu, naambia mwalimu sasa nimefungua nje class nifanye nini. So I told her everything that had been happening. My mom is a defender of the cabs. So she tells me, so what's the issue? So I told you, this is a family friend. My mom told the driver, kwa kina nani, at the entrance of their shop. Akaita mama yake. So this and this has been happening. Now the worst part was the mother's response. The mother said, hiyo ni utoto. As in, ni vitu za utoto, they'll grow out of it. Yes. My mom told her, listen here, and listen carefully. This is affecting my child. You cannot minimize what is going on. So if my daughter has anything that belongs to your daughter, we will bring to you. If your daughter has anything that belongs to me, please bring it to me. End of friendship. Okay, now they're back to being friends because it was not them. It was, of course. Yes. But at that point, my mom was like, no, I'm not going to watch this happen. So I think for me now, it broke me even more to see that the mom did not recognize that the child was doing the wrong thing and was okay with it being new toto. And now that I'm a parent, I usually tell God, I pray that my kids are not the ones bullying others and I don't see it.
You don't see it.
That I catch it early. That I teach them. I don't blame her as a parent because parenting is hard. Why tusiingie kwa parenting because yo The masses that I knew every morning are necessary in this parenting journey, because mine are only 6. Let's say you have teenagers. I don't know at what point it will be, but up until here, parenting is very hard. And there's no manuscript. Is unajuanga leo asubuhi how to handle, because the situation comes as it comes. So I don't blame her. Maybe for her it was or it was even a defense. You don't know, when you start thinking about the complexity of a woman and the things women go, she was probably in defense mode, and she was like, me now, I can't do this thing. So my mom tried to find a solution. Of course, at that point, they couldn't move me to schools. But she tried to protect me as much as possible. The case went to school, because I remember tulikuwa a case almost every day, because huyu amefanya case. I remember even a boy who was beaten by the dad in school, because na yeye alianza stories zingine za sijui tukiwa kanisa, hata hizo siwezi sema hapa. Zilikuwa mbaya. Sijui tukiwa kanisa blah blah blah. The dad asked him, ati ulisema nini? Now his defense is, I was trying to impress the other boys using my name. Because we used to go to the same church. I was like, oh, how do you at that point we are so young, I don't even understand some of the things he's saying. He was beaten. Mimi nakwambia tulikuwa kesi after kesi after kesi. And then I realized all this was happening from a broken girl. This girl felt that I was too pretty. All the boys like me. Unajua ni puberty stage. Me, I'm not even interested in these boys. Me hata siko hapo. Yani wananisumbua akili. Huku niko zile za simunia chane. She's thinking, why am I not getting this attention? So she was trying to divert attention to herself. It just shows you the complexity of brokenness in human beings. And sometimes it's not even their fault. They don't even realize that they're causing damage at times.
At all.
So that is how my mom dealt with the situation.
And I'm happy to hear that, because most times the brokenness could be worse.
Oh yes.
If your parent also probably roles were reversed, and it's your parent who was saying, what is this? You can't even take that.
It breaks you even more. It could have broken me even more.
Yes, and that would have been, I think, like even a major downfall.
Yes.
Even for you to be able to pick yourself up.
Completely, I agree.
But I'm happy to hear how that turned out, and how it has also shaped your parenting.
It has. Nowadays I'm like, actually, who did it? I'm like, I said no pushing. They know the rules. Because sometimes when I'm also with the other kids, the kids come to say hi. Atia, Mama Rena, you said no pushing, no shoving, no bad words. Like they have a list of things that are not done when they're outside playing.
And so between your primary school, growing up, young girl, teenage, and getting into adulthood, and now like lipukaing in campus.
Moto wa kuotea mbali. Yes.
I'd want you to maybe tell us how that shaped how you viewed things. Because still by the time you've become a young adult now, it's like, you know what, I don't care.
Yes.
And this I don't care, you're just protecting yourself.
Protecting myself.
Meanwhile, the people around you are thinking, this one is a criminal.
Like, how dare you, girl?
Yes. How is that? How did you?
So that meant I didn't have many friends, because not many people understood me. So I had very few, especially girls. So now most of my friends were boys, because now boys tutaongea ki boys, girls na waangalia ni zile za nini, wale mlini kaeni uko mbali na mimi, you know. So I had very few friends. Then I also switched campus. Nimeenda shule zote Nairobi. So I moved campus. So the first campus is where I was being called Goldilocks. I did a year. I thank God for my supportive parents, because my parents have supported my madness up until, they have supported my madness while I was growing up. So I tell my dad, now, me nimesoma first year. He took me to school because he wanted me to be in that school, Strathmore University. So for him, it was for lack of a better word, status thing. Like, my child is in Strathmore. Sasa mimi nimeingia Strath, sijui nisome nini. Hata sijui. I don't even, you've come from high school, you're like, okay, what do I study? So I had a cousin in that school who was studying like one of the hardest, I don't know, it's called integrated something. So I ask her, which is the easiest course? She tells me, BCom. Hey, me, I'm not a math person, I'm not a guy. So me, I told my dad, okay, I'll do BCom. Hey, semester 1, semester. By the time I was semester 3, I told my dad, me nimemaliza first year, nimesoma. Ukilipa school fees ya second year, niwe unaenda shule. Sirudi huko. I'm not going back. I can't. I cannot, please.
Yeah.
So now we started looking for schools. So now I ended up in University of Nairobi to do my Bachelor of Arts. That was not my dad's. If it was up to him, hata angenipeleka abroad. But me, I didn't want. I am a mommy's girl. I'm not a daddy's girl. I'm a mommy's girl. Me, I am those girls who want to see their mom every week. Oh, mommy, those ones. So I was imagining that now I'll be in a faraway country. I can't reach my mom. Hey, no, sorry, I don't want. So that's how I ended up in UN. And now in UN, now it's a whole different dynamic because the crowd in Strath and the crowd in UN is two different crowds.
Different, yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm driving to school. At some point when my dad told me, I think will stop taking the car. I think you need to enter a matatu. Interact with your classmates. Because now, these are your classmates. You're in another world that doesn't exist. At some point, he took away the car. And now I was entering the matatu, walking with the people, hearing stories that I've never had because I've been a shielded child all my life. Like I told you, I think I grew up in Nyeri and then we came to Nairobi for me to enter campus because now one of the things my dad didn't want was for me to stay in a hostel. So he moved the whole family to Nairobi so that I can go to campus, so I can go home. So my dad told me, you live in a bubble. Like, I think you need to interact with people more to know the realities of life. And so it was still hard because I still didn't want to interact. And so most times I'd leave class, enter the matatu and go home. But at some point, I found two people who were very talkative. So tukaanza kucheka, hilarious. So we'd make jokes, nini. Kidogo, the crowd started becoming bigger. So I started realizing, I can interact with 3 people. Okay, now they can become 6. So it kind of started opening me up. I was still very shielded. I would not talk a lot. But masaya kucheka, tutacheka, jokes nitacrack, tucheke. Then after that, I go back into my shell. Outside of that, I didn't have a life other than church. So also, I've been a church girl my whole life. So if I'm not in school, I'm at home or in church. That was my life. Me, I've been a church girl my life. I've never had a rebellious face. Like, ile ati mzazi anaweza sema, hey, huyu na akitupitisha. Mimi sikuwapitisha. Mimi nilikuwa kanisa Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, tuko choir practice, Sunday, the whole day. Mpaka zambe my dad like, guy, si hata saa zingine uko sekwen. Like, no, it became imagine now, people are fighting their kids for being in the world. My dad is fighting me for being the church. Not because being the church is bad, but he was like, surely, every day. What is this? But for me, it was so good because it was a good hiding place. I didn't have to now be thinking about plot. Ati plot, guy, no, plot yangu ni church. Kama unataka kuniona kujeni church. That was my life. Yeah. That was like my, going into adulthood. Yeah.
Amazing. I'm glad we have been able to get to that point.
Yes.
Because I would be keen, and I'm sure even my viewers would be keen to see the turnaround.
Yes.
And the lessons picked.
Yoo.
Because when you began, you said about the Rebirth Global Movement and how you want to see a healed woman. So you know what brokenness can
I do. I have
and
seen
you also know what healing looks like.
Yes.
So I want us to end it there for now, because you cannot finish this one.
We can't. It's long. It's a lot.
So that when we come back, we are seeing lessons learned and the turnaround to become who you have become today. A kingdom influencer who is influencing. So, I hope you have picked your lessons. As a child, as a parent, as a friend, there are things that we cannot continue to even do or allow even to see in our children. And so as we continue with this episode, as we look at how resilience helps us to rebuild and reconstruct identities, I don't want you to move. If you have not subscribed, this is the time to subscribe, because you want to see how this story continues from here. So I hope you have been blessed. I hope you have learned and picked your points. And when we come back, we'll continue from where we stopped. Thank you. Shalom.